Yo, just waiting for some more people come. What's everyone saying? Yo, how are we, Rob? You good, man? What you saying, brother? What I'm gonna do is just like touch over, explain what's been going on with me, where I've been, what I've been doing, why I've been gone for a while. Long story short, a few people saw a video I posted a few weeks ago. Wasn't a good video. Wasn't a good video at all. Basically, I was in like a very, very low point. But since then, I've now got, a counselor that I speak to most days. I've been doing some like sort of journal writing, therapy sort of shit. And the reason that I've not been doing anything on YouTube is I had other issues that I needed to concentrate on with myself and my mental health, all these kind of things. And I thought it was only fair, obviously, since I posted that video, I need to come on and address it before I can move on from it. So the things I needed to move on from, and I've been working on with my counselor, Caroline, and, my partner, Laura, and a few, friends and family. And I need to shout out a few people. Obviously, Laura, I need to shout out Dean Lesiak, who's been messaging me every single day. So long story short, the things I've been working through is I had some issues as a kid growing up. With I just had some issues growing up as a kid. I had obviously a lot of you know that my little brother passed away and my dad passed away. So I think a lot of shit just piled up on me. Obviously, I was single up until a few months ago, trying to raise my little boy. So I've been trying to deal with that, trying to make, throw YouTube in the mix of that. And I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, because I think that's the lamest thing to do. I think I just didn't take control of any of these situations in my life that were going on. I don't think I dealt with any, grievance I got from, losing my dad, my brother, and the shit that happened to me growing up. So I felt that I needed to come on. I can't start jump on doing interviews and act like nothing's happened. I can't act like a video I did in the past and I posted like it never happened. I think I owe you the respect that you deserve to say, Luke, this happened. I was in a really shit situation. I'm working through it. I'm not there yet. That'd be fucking pointless of me to go, oh yeah, I'm better now. But I'm working through it. And I think that's the main thing. That's not like the message I'm trying to get across. I'm not going to do that lame thing. Oh, if I can help one person, I'm trying to help one person at the minute. That's all I can do. I just, with, respect, I think you guys need to know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So at the minute, I've got a counselor named Caroline. We text most days, sometimes, could be for an hour long about anything and everything. I've been writing journals about, stuff that had happened to me in the past, this, that, and the other. I might touch on that at some point in the future. I don't feel ready to start putting all my shit out there at the minute. But I'm working through it. I'm really trying to work through it. I'm trying to, put myself in a better position, not just for me, but somebody explained to me, in fact, Dean explained to me, sometimes you've got to take a step back and be a little bit selfish sometimes to get your best foot forward after the fact. And I think I was holding too much shit in that was sort of building up in me, and I wasn't channeling it in the right direction or dealing with it to move on from it. So that's what I'm doing at the minute. I need to shout out other people. Mark Lobliner, Kenny KO, a few, there's a lot of other YouTubers that have reached out to me. Real Tech reached out to me. Anthony Hamilton reached out to me. Loads of people have reached out to me. Bonac, people like that. And, I'm working through it. I'm trying my best to be better. I'm trying to understand what happened to me in the past, to try and understand how I can move forward from it. There's been a few nights over the past, few evenings where I've sat with my girlfriend and we've gone through stuff like, sensitive shit, like, and, me just talking to her has helped me get these things out there and put myself. It's quite a vulnerable thing to do, and that's the hardest thing sometimes, is to let somebody know something bad that's happened to you in the past, and putting that out there and expecting to be judged. And I wasn't judged, and obviously wouldn't do that, but I think in your own mindset, sometimes you just presume that people will judge you for something that's happened to you in the past. So, you know, like Dean has sent me an abundance of stuff. And you all know Dean. I've had Dean Lesiak on, Dean the Protein. I've had him on the channel a lot over the last, 2, maybe 3 months. Such a lovely guy. Like, I can't express how nice this guy is. He's coming on the channel again soon. I'm going to reach out to him, see if I can get him on today at some point. But I do need to shout out people. I do. Especially like Laura, who has helped me out, more than anybody over the past, say, 2, maybe 3 weeks. And I think it's only fair that I put that out there, and sincerely thank the people that have been there for me. My sister, my nephew, there's a lot of people. Some people don't understand, some people, I got some shit for the first video that I posted, which is fine. I understand why. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. And, opinions are like arseholes. We've all got one. Sorry, Matt Leslie, love the work, bro. Any interest in classic physique, or does your passion lie with open? Yeah, love classic physique. I'll do some Q&As in a sec. I just trying to just try and touch on what's been going on with me, and then I will jump into some questions about anything and everything. So, like I say, I've been dealing with a lot of issues from my past. I'm moving forward in the right direction. It sort of is what it is. It's a work in progress, like most of us in life. Everything is a work in progress. I've put pretty much most of the stuff out there, with my partner, Laura, and I was really effing and ahhing. Sorry, bro. Yeah, I get you. Don't mean to rush you. Bro, honestly, it's cool. It's cool. Stay with me. We will touch on anything and anything you want to, I swear. So, I spoke to Laura, my girlfriend, and she, we even mentioned, do I want to do a YouTube video about it? I obviously have to do a video to explain sort of where I was at, in case anybody else is in that sort of predicament or situation. I need to put out there that, I am better than I was a few weeks ago. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm in a better position now, mentally, with how I need to start processing information better. And I think as guys, it's hard sometimes to open up and not look vulnerable, even though sometimes we can feel and be vulnerable. So, like I say, I'd spoken to Dean. Dean's had stuff that's happened to him in the past. So obviously there was sort of that relatable side of it. Like most of us in life, we've all been through stuff. My ex has been through stuff, and we were sort of using that to go back and forth with each other, which was nice. I know it sounds fucked up, but it's nice to know that you're just not only that one vulnerable person in the world. So yeah, I might do a video in the future, if I ever do feel comfortable enough to do that, on what's happened to me in the past. I just don't feel like I'm in a position at the minute to do that now. I just don't feel that I'm dealing with it, 100% to start, discussing it further, if that makes sense. But like I said, I am in a better position now than I was a few weeks ago. I am working through it. I'm doing my best. And that is it. If anybody's got any questions on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, just jump in the comment section now. Matt, right, classic physique. Obviously, there's absolutely nothing going on in the world in bodybuilding at the minute. So all this shit that's going on with me couldn't have probably happened at the best time. But yeah, I love classic physique. Absolutely love classic physique. Who's your favorite, classic physique competitor? Is there any sort of type or style of video you want me to do? Is there any sort of classic physique guys you want me to have on the channel? I pretty much know most of them. I am going to line up a few more interviews. I'm trying to sort one with Xavier at the minute. Obviously, you guys know I've had him on the channel before. Xavier is he's got desktop bodybuilding. We've done a podcast before. I think we were doing a predictions for the Arnold Classic Ohio. Like I think it was a good 5-6 weeks before. I love Xavier, such a nice guy, absolutely just genuine down to earth guy. What else? Who else was I trying to get on? Not trying to get on. Just trying to think. Let me have a look at my inbox. I've got a few people that want to jump back on. Nick World Class. Nick World Class is going to come on with his business partner to discuss SARMs, because I know absolutely nothing about SARMs. He's pretty much got a business in it, so he's probably the best person to talk to. Again, Nick World Class, such a down to earth guy. He's a bit like Marmite. Some people love him, some people hate him. I just think that's how you understand him. I click with him very easily. I think we're on that sort of same level mentally. So yeah, absolutely love Nick World Class. I think he is world class. He's a top guy. Bodybuilder wise, I haven't reached out to any bodybuilders yet. I'm trying to put more informative content out. That's always been my plan for this year. Obviously, I can get the names for interviews. It's all good and well. I want to do more raw and uncut. Let's have a look. Couldn't tell you, bro. I hope this doesn't sound fucked up, but I pick body parts from different guys. I don't have just one. Okay, so 2 secs, Matt. So yeah, bodybuilders. I'm still going to continue the raw and uncut series that I've been doing to get the juicy bits about how these bodybuilders came about, not just talking shit about their prep and this, that, and the other, because I think that's proper boring. But yeah, so Matt, couldn't tell you, bro. I hope this doesn't sound fucked up, but I picked body parts from different guys. I think we all do that, to be fair. I don't think that sounds fucked up at all. Like, most people love Lee Priest's arms. Most people love, if we're bringing it to this generation, Phil Heath's arms. A lot of us love Rolly Winkler's triceps. There's a lot of people that we can pick, the sweet spot of body parts on, and just sort of trying to apply and implement that to what we're doing and how we want to look and how we, perceive our physique to look in the future. And yeah, Matt, it's cool. Like it's not fucked up at all. I think most of us do that. But with regards to any competitions this year, I'm hoping the Olympia can come back. I think, in all honesty, I don't think it will. Obviously, we've got, what else was coming? What was the Rock show? God, I've had such a brain fart. I can't even think. But that was scheduled for after the Olympia, so who knows? Maybe that can still go ahead. I don't know. The world's in a fucked up position at the minute, so I can only hope that we can get, at least some shows out, towards the end of the year, even if it's the EVLS Prague, the Yamamoto Cups, normally towards the end of the year. So maybe on an international level, some countries will have, dropped the quarantine status by then. We might be in a position where even if we can't get a stage and a crowd together, maybe we can live stream, these guys on stage, and that would be pretty cool. Like obviously at the Arnold Classic, there was no crowd. It worked. It still worked. We all tuned in live. We all watched it live. It still worked. So if we could do something like that, it'd be ideal. But I think we just got to roll with it. There's a lot more serious shit going on in the world right now to be bothered or concerned about who's going to be on stage. Sorry for the spam of questions, bro, but it's sick that you're free at the moment. Do you think the difference in dryness, hardness, and graininess from the 90s to now is due to drug quality? Athleticon, that was it. Matt, ask as many questions as you want, brother. So, do you think the difference in dryness and hardness and graininess from the 90s is the drug quality? Ooh, yeah. I mean, to be honest, like this isn't going to go down well. I think they were a lot more drier and grainier in the 90s and even up to the late 90s than they are to today. I don't think, other than say the top 5 we had, not even at the Arnold Classic, because I don't class that as the world's top 5, because obviously no Sean Roden, no Phil Heath. There's too many big names that weren't in that. But if we go back to, say, 2018, Mr. Olympia lineup, top 5 from that, what was it? Phil, Ramy, Rowley, William, and was it Sean? If you compare that to, say, I don't know, 97, it's like there was an interview and everybody was doing videos on it with Valuetainment, and they had Dexter on, they had Ronnie on, and they were basically comparing the old to the new, which I think falls in line with your question is, would the old school guys compare to the new school guys and vice versa? We're always going to look back at the golden era and think it was a better era and a better generation. It's always going to be the same, whether it's in football, baseball, doesn't matter. You're always going to have that. It's like boxing. People are always going to say Muhammad Ali was the greatest. He was the greatest of his time. He's not the greatest today. And people are, oh, if you put Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali in the ring, it's like Tyson that destroyed him. So it's very difficult to compare the old school and the new school just because of the times. And like you say, the drug protocol is very different, very, very different. I'm not even too sure when things like growth hormone and things like that started coming out, but people were abusing in the 90s. It was an insulin thing. That was when insulin took off. And it was, what was the guy's name? I think he's Greek. He basically spawned the idea of insulin. But back to your question before I start going off on one. With regards to like diuretics and drug protocol, in the 90s, people just took whatever was available. It was a lot of clen back then. Milos Sarchev, that's the guy, Milos. I'm having such a shit day today. It's a good job you're in the chat, Matt, to be fair, brother. Do you want to take over the live stream and I'll ask you some questions? What was I saying? Yeah, so people were using whatever was available back then. And in the 90s, you probably know yourself, depending on your age, Matt, there was a lot of supplements that were put out on the market and taken off the market constantly because of like the FDA approval. You were legally allowed to put a product out before it was tested, and it could be tested whilst it was on the shelves for then to be removed. So nowadays, guys will probably stack 6 or 7 different things in a cut process, rather than back in the day. It was very simple drug protocols. So I think back in the day, I genuinely think that dieting, when I say dieting, I mean cutting for a show, not the bulk process. The dieting, I think they were a lot stricter because they had no choice to be. I think nowadays they can heavily rely on far too many drugs to do more work for them. Typical example is probably Ramy. He's never fully grainy. He's always holding that slight bit of water under the skin in certain areas. And we've all heard, the crazy stories about these coaches who, stack on stack on stack just to get guys prepped for a show. But if you compare that to, say, the 90s guys, they weren't doing as much as we actually all think and presume they were doing. They were obviously that off season cycle for putting size on was big, and the cc's or whatever they were taking in milliliters in drugs were quite high. But if you compare that to nowadays, it's just they've got so many different things, so many different esters, so many different things to do different things. Then you've got to stack everything else on top of that for all the side effects. So what I'm saying is, I do think the 90s, they looked physically better with the graininess. I do think that's probably a fair assessment, Matt. But I think it's very hard to compare the two, given, like you say, the drug protocols we've got now compared to back then. I think that bodybuilders nowadays are, highly more at risk of so many more side effects and fucking themselves up long term than they were in the 90s. But look at the guys from the 90s, some of them are dropping like flies. Was that down to diuretics? I'm not sure. But how my stance on steroids, I took far too many. I had bilateral pulmonary embolisms, completely fucked myself up long term. I'm on medication for life from taking stupid amounts of steroids. So I'm always going to shine a dimmer light on them. Bro, hopefully one day I get the opportunity to be interviewed by you. Give me a couple of years. Mate, come on. I don't even care. Come on. It sucks, bro. These guys have so much potential to get fucking shredded, but the time is catching up and they're getting older. Cedric, Sean, Rolly. Exactly. It sort of puts into stand that, some of these guys will blame a coach. But at some point, they didn't have a coach all their life. William Bonac said it, you send photos, they'll say, do this, drop these carbs, up the protein, change your fats, tweak it here, tweak it there. But at some point, your own body, if you need to do more, do more. If you need to do less, eat more, eat less, eat less. You can't take that back foot and say, no, I'm going to blame this now on this coach and then I'm going to move to this coach, because that sort of neglects the fact that you probably yourself didn't do enough either. So if you've got a piss poor relationship that you're going to dump your coach, you've got to take some responsibility yourself and say, no, maybe I didn't work hard enough with my coach. Maybe I didn't communicate enough with my coach to ensure that, if he set up my carbs by 50 grams, for the next few days, if that's not working for you, you need to tell your coach. You need to have that open conversation. So yeah, I do agree. Like Sean, obviously, I think Sean's fucked now long term. Coach doesn't do the work, bro. Coach is not with you 24/7 to stop you from slacking off. It comes to raw will and passion. They're taking the easy route to dumb their coaches. Exactly that. Couldn't have put it any better. It's so easy to point your finger if you've failed at something or something hasn't quite gone out the way you've, rather than take it on the chin and go, right, this is what happened. Why did this happen? Why did I not look a certain way? After every show, every coach normally, takes a step back with their client and say, right, okay, we didn't dial this in time. So maybe we can tweak this and we can get a better outcome. This was the same with Terence Ruffin. I think it was it Tampa Pro? I'm not sure, don't quote me. I had him on the channel a while back. If you want to jump back on that video, he placed not low, he placed lower. And then, after a few weeks, they dialed it in, they made all those fine tweaks and they worked together. So they had that proper synergy going on. And then the end product was perfect. He got the win, he got the dub. And that's where, you've got to take responsibility as a bodybuilder and say, okay, this hasn't worked. Let's sit down with a coach. Let's talk this through. Where can we make some decent changes that are going to actually be implemented enough to get us in a higher position, or, at least bring a better package. Sometimes you can bring a better package and still be outclassed. And we've seen it time and time again. We've seen people on stage that have gone, wow, they've turned up, look absolutely phenomenal, but they're not quite there yet. Sergio Oliva Jr., brilliant example. The Arnold, Ohio turned up, fantastic condition, but obviously he knows he stays in his lane. He's bringing the best he can be, best he can do. But there were people that look better, but he's consistently doing better and bringing better. And if, he doesn't need to change that format. The format he's got is going to work. If he's only getting better and better, he can only succeed. So on that note, any other questions, Matt, about anything, or anybody else? Any other questions? To be do with me. I'm having Dean on the channel. I'm not too sure what we're going to touch on. I think I want to do some sort of mental health thing with Dean. He is so clued up on stuff like that. He knows a lot, and he's just one of those guys that you look at and you think he probably doesn't know much, but then the second he starts talking, it's like, wow, okay, he knows a lot, and he's a nice guy. So if there's any other topics you want to touch on with Dean, or even Nick World Class or Xavier, that'd be pretty cool. Hey, bud, how's things? Looking fresh. Great to see you from Sydney. Hey, Kevin, how are you, brother? I'm doing really good. I was saying earlier, if you've only just jumped in, that obviously, I made a video a few weeks ago. I moved on from that. I've got a counselor now. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with my girlfriend. I've been doing a lot of journal writing, and I'm in a better position. I'm not better, but I'm in a better position to start dealing with that. Matt, do you also get pissed off when these guys say, you've never seen this on stage before, then you come in looking the exact same or even worse? Yeah, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of boxers. When they give all the talking shit, like, oh, I'm going to knock you out in the first round and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I love it. Let me show I love that kind of stuff because it does build hype for a show. It builds a lot of momentum around something, especially when they go back and forth. It just doesn't work in bodybuilding. It really doesn't work. It's like, it's all good and well saying, you know, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, but you don't know what everyone else is bringing. There's far too many variables in bodybuilding and too many people on the stage with you for you to say. It's good for them individually to have that mindset of saying, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to bring the best. When they don't bring the best, I think it's always best to shut up, say you're going to try and do your best and bring what you can bring and take it from there, rather than to say, I think in your own head, say, right, I'm going to win this show, I'm going to win this show, I'm going to win this show, and keep that momentum going. But always keep in the back of your mind that everybody else is working harder, hard, if not harder than you. And then, that might push you that little bit more. And it's always that final little push that everybody needs to get to winning something or succeeding at something. So, I think that the shit talking, they're going back and forth between coaches and bodybuilders. It doesn't, it's drama. Does it help the sport? Maybe for like, let's see who, if, I don't know, Dexter was slagging off Sean Ray again and they were on stage, obviously it's never going to happen, but let's say they were on stage together, it'd be interesting to see the dynamic of what unfolded from that. But it's bodybuilding. It's not boxing. Also from Sydney, Kevin. Hey, mate. Oh, so you're from Sydney as well, Matt. What time is it in Sydney? Because obviously you guys probably know Xavier. It's been a nightmare at the minute trying and get sort out of time with him because obviously I'm in the UK, as you can blatantly tell. I'm in Gladesville, mate. I have no idea where that is, but I bet Matt does. So moving forward, like I say, I've got a couple of interviews lined up. Nothing major. I'm not trying to sell my channel as to something. You guys know what I do. I keep it, simple. Is there anybody you want me to try and get on? And I will. 9:56 p.m. Wow, it's 1 p.m. here. I might reach out to William in a couple of weeks, William Bonac, just to see what he's doing, how he's getting on with everything. Yeah, I watch him a lot. Train at Dr. T's and World Gym, bro. Oh, okay. So you watch Xavier, yeah? I like Xavier. I really do. I love his channel. I think he's doing brilliantly. He's just teamed up with Foward, hasn't he? Is it Hostile? I think it's called Hostile Supplements. So he announced that the other day. So I was really happy for him for that. It's good. It's good that that's come about for him. I think Xavier over the past couple of years, he's put work in on the channel, but I think it's really shone through, and he's getting the credit he deserves over the past 2, maybe 3 months, which is really nice to see. I'm not one of those guys that just because he does the same sort of stuff as me, I'm going to shine him in a bad light. I can't. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Yeah, yes, man. Great achievements. Any goals in your near future? Goals for me, with regards to my channel, there's a few people I really want to get on. I'm not sure if I want to say, who do I want to have on realistically? And it's probably not the big names that you think. I'd love to have Lee Priest on, but I'm not sure if he would because he's practically contracted to RX Muscle, I'd say. I'd love to have Lee on because I think we've got that similar, banter, no bullshit sort of approach to life. That would be a quite interesting conversation. Matt Truck's going to come back on again at some point. Who would I want to have on? Sean Roden. I'd love to do a raw and uncut with Sean Roden, like a real conversation, like to put how he's feeling, what got him into bodybuilding, all that kind of stuff, but like get his point of view about everything that's gone on, not in detail, but like how he's coping. That's what I want to know. How is he coping with all this shit that's going on and the pressure? That'd be a pretty good conversation to have. I want to do a joint interview as well. So I'd love to have, like, say, obviously you guys know I'm really good friends with William Bonac. I'd love to have a conversation with me, William Bonac, Xavier, and Nick World Class. I think that would be a world-class interview because we've all got different perspectives on bodybuilding. Now, I know Xavier and I sort of do the similar sort of things on YouTube, but he does it his way, I do it my way. I keep mine quite, monotone, probably boring, and he's got the whole green screen going. He's got a very informative approach to bodybuilding, actually being a bodybuilder. So I think, and Nick, obviously, he's been a pro, but Nick's outspoken. So it would be a very interesting dynamic, I think, or interviewing anybody with those two as well. I think it'd be cool for all channels involved, just to prove that, we're not like biased against another channel. We're not out here saying, well, I'm the best bodybuilding channel. No, I am. It's like, well, let's come together and do something together. Like, it's cool. There's, YouTube's a big enough place that we can all get enough views to make revenue and all the rest of it that comes with it, but it'd be very nice to do stuff together. So you competed against Lee Priest in 1989. What show was that, Kev? That's amazing. I'm in Liverpool, mate. We've got Liverpool. Thanks. Bonac is awesome. Yeah, I love Bonac. Fake allegations, bro. Chick just looking for attention. Where is she now? Haven't heard shit from her. If she was really, surely she'd still be hung up about it. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe she's just not allowed to speak on it. I think it's so easy for us to say for or against with the whole case. And the fact of the matter is, we don't really know the facts. We don't know if he did or he didn't, and I don't really want to speculate on that. But I think he does need to do an interview soon with somebody, just to get that out there, because it's going to be a part of bodybuilding history. He was 17, won the whole show. He was 17. How old were you, Kev, when you competed against Lee Priest? That's ace, though, that you've got that under your belt. Like, I competed with Lee Priest. You never know. It could have happened. Well done on not saying the word. Don't want YouTube on you. I do that, and then I'll F and blind all the way through lives and interviews all the time. It's stupid. I'm an idiot. He was 75 kg. I was 20. However, were you? What sort of class was that? He was 17. He was. When did he turn pro? Was it 18, 19? I was in the juniors. Oh well, yeah, 17. That's pretty cool though, Kev. Like, that's pretty cool. Did you get like second, third, runner up? Did you come away with anything? Any memorabilia? Did you get a pic with him? Did you not realize? I suppose at the time you're not going to realize he's going to be like one of the greatest of all times. You were 98 kilos. Wow. Send us a pic on Insta. Let's see like if you've got something side by side. That would be pretty cool. Won your division. Nice. Very nice, brother. So yeah, who else would I want to interview? Dexter, I'd like to interview. I love Dexter. I love his energy he puts out there. He's just like that lovable dude, isn't he? You can't like have an issue with Dexter. He says some fucking shit, but still, like, who else would I have on? Diasha. I'd love to interview Nathan Diasha. Nathan Diasha, I'd like to have on. Forward, I'd like to interview him because he's obviously always doing the interviews, but I think he's informative. I think the content he puts out there with bodybuilding and bullshit or bollocks or whatever, I think it's pretty cool. Could you get Breon on, bro? Love his positivity. I was talking to Breon probably about 4 or 5 months ago. He was very busy at the time. Dorian, would be pretty cool. I liked his interview with was it London Times, London something, Real London Real, something like that. He did some really cool interviews with them, and maybe some coaches. Who could we have though, coach wise? So most of the coaches are sort of fixed to channels now. I know Nick World Class has pretty much set up a regular spot with I can't even think of his name. I am having such a bodybuilding brain fart today. Can't even think of his name. He was on the Valuetainment thing. Oh my god. I can't even think, but he's on there now. What do you think of Rafael Brando? Love his physique, bro. He's 26. I'm gonna look at him. Yeah, I like him. I've not reached out to him. Who I was going to interview the other day was let's have a look. I've got a few on my inbox. Big AB, Chad Nichols. That's it, mate. Honestly, do you me just sign my channel over to you, Matt? Yeah, Big AB. Me and him were going to sort something out. I reached out to a few people. Stanimal's supposed to be coming on at some point. Antoine, when he's available, is coming on. I'm trying to not keep going over the same people. I'm trying to like fill the raw and uncut spot bigger. Sean Ray, I don't think he'd come on. Like, I don't think Sean Ray would come on, and it'd be so like controversial because there's nothing I couldn't not ask him, and Sean will speak on pretty much anything you ask of him. And I don't know if it'd be good for views. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be good for views to have Sean on, but I don't know if I want to do those style of interviews where he's calling people out for shit, and then I'm like, for fuck's sake, now I've got to get that person on, and now I feel like I'm a referee and not an interviewer to fucking squash some beef between people. I've tried to get a couple of people on who have got beef to see if we can resolve it online, but you know, it is what it is. Some people don't want to squash shit, do they? But yeah, going forward, I've got a few people lined up for this week, so I'm going to do my best to try and get as much content out as possible. Me and Dean, I think when me and Dean get on an interview, true mate, yeah, isn't it? We talk for hours, and we can start on one topic and then it switches to something else, and we can get very off track, and we have to sort of pull each other back to the topic of conversation. But Dean's a very clever guy, so if there's anything that you want us to talk about, even other bodybuilders, any dramas to get our opinions out there, we'll do that happily. But yeah, I think we're going to do a little bit on mental health. He'd bitch it too political. Yeah. It's not, I mean, because you could say that about me. Like, I'd bitch out I wouldn't bitch out. I'd have Sean on. I don't know. Like, it's good to have drama in interviews, but I really wanted to have like a really clean cut channel this year. I had so much shit last year from pros and coaches, and honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the shit out of my inbox. I had CT Fletcher kicking off on me. I had Kevin Levrone kicking off on me. For mild, harmless shit, really. Bodybuilders are sensitive. So I don't know. Mind you, I mean, I've had Mac Truck on, and Mac just says his shit and calls it how it is. I don't know. Reach out to Sean. You drop him in the box for me. Any experience with MK677? Right, with the SARM stuff, honestly, Matt, nothing. But like I say, I have reached out to Nick World Class. Obviously, he sells SARMs. Kenny promotes SARMs. Kenny's got a second channel where he discusses his sort of experiences with SARMs. But I have got Nick coming on with his business partner for that very reason, because I don't know anything about SARMs. I needed to get something on there. On my channel about it, something that's informative, not just Nick coming on saying, oh, try this, something that says, okay, Rad 140, it does this, the reason it does this, the side effects from it. So, you know, it's obviously never going to get monetized or anything, but I still feel I've got a duty of care, you know, that these drugs are out there. You need to know the information about what's out there, what they do, what they don't do, you know, do they work, do they not work? So you can take that information away yourself and go, right, do I want to try that? And move on from that. Do you know what I mean? So obviously a lot of channels will talk about these things if they're promoting them, but it needs to be because you speak the truth and they can't take a joke or criticism. Yeah, more than likely. I think I'd probably be calling them out more than they'd be calling somebody else out. That'd be too many subjects with Sean Ray, wouldn't there? Like, where would you begin? like from the beginning of the time. Like, there's so many people he's had beef and drama with, but he still rocks up to conventions and shows like nothing's ever happened. I'm not on it, mate. Sorry. Are you two adding each other on Insta? Just download it, Kev. Take you 2 minutes. Just get each other's details and then go on somewhere else. We'll go on Snapchat. I don't know. Where am I going now? Yeah, Sean Ray. I think that'd be a pretty messed up interview, but it'd be good. Who else would I have on? I'd love Phil on, but I'm pretty sure Phil's starting to charge for interviews, from what I've heard, which is a bit messed up. I know, mate. I've got to get on it. I mean, it is, Instagram is what it is. I pick it up and put it down as and when I want to use it. I can't be doing this daily posting this and daily posting that, and I need to be filling out my story. I've got other shit going on in my life. Like, obviously, a lot of these guys have got the time available to do that. Maybe I need to make the time. Maybe that's the flip side of it. Maybe I'm not making enough time for it. I tried for a good 5 or 6 weeks. I was posting in my story, but I'm not about like trying to get limelight and I need 100,000 followers. I need blue ticks. I need this. I need that. I just love bodybuilding. I DM'd you on Insta, bro. Let's have a look. Got you. Let me move you to my normal folder, dude. I've dropped you a follow back, brother. Sorry, I better text my girlfriend back. So, what was I going to say then? I need to get my hair cut. Have you seen? Look at that. That's stress grays, that is. So I've got a hat on. But I've got a hat in interviews because I've not got my fucking hair cut properly. So, interview-wise, I don't know. Like, Matt, you've got me on Insta now. DM me if there's anything else you want to chat about. Flex Lewis on there, but I'd say again, a lot of these pros, they're sort of so set and stuck to these older channels. Like RX Muscle, obviously, pretty much, it's fair to say, I've interviewed pretty much everybody up to this point. Well, love them or hate them, you know, I'm not a fan of RX, but they do put some good stuff out there at times. You know, I can't disagree with that. I can't ever see me and Dave doing anything together. I think he just pretty much acts like I don't exist, like a few others, pretend that my channel's not here and I'm not out there. Who was the other guy? There was another guy. He moved to another channel. He had a channel. Ivan. I'm not a fan of Ivan. I'm really not a fan of Ivan. I have watched a few of his stuff a few months back because it's what I do. I like to see other interviews. I like to see how other people do interviews. That's how I jumped in this at the deep end. I was making other styles of content, and I was trying to pick up bits from other people. So I watched Ivan. Yeah, Old School Labs. That was it. Yeah. So he did a few videos. Informative, very, very sort of drama alert style, and I didn't like it. Did not like it. It was like, I understand we're trying to make, you know, revenue from doing this, but I think the passion between loving the sport and then dramatizing the sport to make money from it, there's a fine line. There's a very fine line, and I think he crossed that fine line months ago. He was on about posting 2-3 times a day, and it's like there's not that much information and content out there. There's not. That to me shows a drive for numbers. That's a numbers game for revenue and for followers. That's nothing to do with putting quality content out there. And he was on about using that money to fund his own bodybuilding career, which is fine. You know, it's up to him what he does with the revenue he creates. But I just don't think dramatizing so much to make money from it shows you've got a passion for the sport. I genuinely think my style of interview is completely different to, say, RX Muscle. It's completely different to, just trying to think who else is out there that does interviews. Generation Iron. Like them, again, they have got no interest in bodybuilding whatsoever. I don't care how many documentaries and videos they've made. They've done it on Matt Truck, in the past. They did it on Lee Priest recently. They'll interview them for a couple of hours. Me and Mac have spoke about this off camera. They interviewed him for ages, and then they took those little snippets because they knew as soon as they posted it on YouTube, the views will go up, the revenue will go up, and it's drama. It's such a shitty way to be a fan of bodybuilding. If you watch any of my interviews, I genuinely look excited when I start talking to these guys. I think that's where I'll always say, I am not enjoy you, man. Hope you get well, man. I'm here if you need someone to talk to. Mark, thank you so much, brother. That means a lot, Thank you. So when I interview these guys, you can I've always stated from day one, I'm not a bodybuilding reporter. I really am not. I'm just a major, massive fan of bodybuilding. I've grew up with bodybuilding. So when I interview these guys, it's sort of like you, say Matt or Kev or Mark, sitting down and interviewing someone that you've been following, someone you've been watching for such a long time. You love what they do. You like where their career's going. I think that's where my dynamic shifts from somewhere like RX Muscle. It was just like, let's get the facts. Let's talk about the facts, and that's it. Which is cool. It works. It's worked for RX Muscle for years. For me, I like to be on a more of a personal level. I like to know more about the person, not just the bodybuilding side, and sort of mix the two together and see what comes out. And I think it's worked. I think it's worked really well. Sorry, are you all inboxing me on Insta? Matt, it's cool. I'll have a look at your Instagram when I come off as well, brother. Would you have time for a video chat, bro, regarding bodybuilding down the track? If you're too busy, bro, all good. Just keep it up, man. Love your channel. Just trying to think. I can speak to you after there. I do need to go shop, get a drink. Not a drink, but a drink. But yeah, Matt, I can chat to you off camera. It's cool. About anything, you can DM me whenever. Anybody, I've said this from day one. Comments I reply to, DMs, just DM me about anything, anytime. I don't mind. I talk to you guys. I'm not trying to be out here. Oh, look how many followers I got. Like, fuck, legend. You a legend, Matt. You've literally saved this stream by telling me people that I forgot. So you're the legend, bro. You're the MVP of this stream. So what was I saying then? So yeah, I think that's where my interviews have sort of differed, and I've sort of created my own sort of lane I can stay in. And they're quite chilled as well. There's no stress, there's no pressure. I don't feel like I can't ask a certain question. Nah, bro, Kobe this is true. Shit, too soon. Nah, it's not too soon. He is the legend. So yeah, what was I going to say then? Is there any smaller bodybuilders, not smaller in size, smaller as sort of numbers, that you want me to interview? I want to get Real Tech back on because I like him. We're really cool. Like, he's so chilled to interview. And obviously I did that interview a while back with, I had Nick World Class on, Terrence, and Real Tech. And we were talking about teenagers using steroids. And that was probably one of my favorite interviews because I've got all these pros on there actually still competing to today, openly saying, yes, we take these things, and openly saying, no, guys, try and not. Do you know what I mean? It was real. It was raw. It wasn't like they were trying to BS because of some supplement sponsor and all the other crap. It was informative to younger guys. I want to interview some Indian bodybuilders, because I've been taking note of my demographic and people who are watching and this, that, and the other. And, a lot of them are from India. It's good that you don't look down on others and hold yourself on a pedestal. I would never do that. I would never do that. We're all the same. We're all people. It's just some people are out here acting like they're special. And, just because they've got so many numbers behind them that it means something. I've got a mad one. Let me find him real quick. Yeah, go for it, Matt. But the numbers don't mean anything to me. I get it all the time, like, oh, have you got so many subscribers and your views aren't that big? And I've told you time and time again, I've got that one bodybuilding video of my good friend Blessing that blew up. It's on 30+ million views. That's where bulk of my subs came from. I can be real about it. Consistency wise with views, sort of comes down to my own consistency. I can be humble. I haven't consistently been putting enough content out there, but I've had other shit going on, and I sort of pick this up and put it down as and when. Maybe I need to like at least get a couple of videos out per week. But at the minute, I've got other stuff going on that I need to focus my time on. I am going to get a few interviews done this week, and I'll chop them up and span them over a week or so, maybe. But yeah, I think there's too many people, too many channels that are so obsessed with getting numbers up. They're sort of losing track of what we're actually on here for. I don't feel the need to post like 20 stories a day and create these wild videos to go viral to get my numbers up. I'm just a fan. I'm not trying to be Nick Strength and Power. I'm not trying to do a Louis Marco. I'm just trying to be me and talk my opinion about what I think about a certain thing. That's it. I don't claim to be nothing else. Come on, Matt. Who's this mad one? Tell me this mad one. I'll look it up and then I'll come off because I've been on for like an hour. So, come on, Matt. Is Matt coming back, do we know? But yeah, sorry guys, I'm just going through my phone. Right, I've got 9 messages from you that I need to go through. I'll give Matt another minute so we can find this mad one. And then I am coming off, and I will reach out to Dean. Check this guy out, Kevin Reservoir. Let's have a look. If you've got your phones out, guys, why don't you have a look too? So, what is it? KYVAN _ right, okay, there he is. Let's have a look. You always got some doubts, auntie, bro. So every bodybuilder got a thing with Ultra Swole. Have you noticed? I like Ultra Swole. He does the cartoon caricature things of bodybuilders, but they look pretty cool. There's a picture of him with Rolly. So what is he competing? Is it 2-time world champion? Is he men's physique or classic? He's sort of borderline, isn't he? Let's have a look. First pose, classic physique. Oh, so he was in the Yamamoto. Do we know if he's English speaking? Because I can reach out to him. I'll drop him a follow. There we go. I can reach out to him, Matt, and see if he wants to jump on. Not a problem. Right. Any more questions? Any questions for Dean Lesiak? Any questions for me? I'm not trying to flex on you. I'm stretching. Literally anything. I'm going to speak to Dean today, and I might see if he wants to do a video about some serious, really serious stuff, and maybe do it together. Not well, bro. But of a language barrier, not fuss, bro. I'll reach out to him if we can break it down with him. It'd be pretty cool. I like having like the not as popular bodybuilders on as well, because I feel it gives them more of it's their time in some sort of limelight. And I think that's what we should be doing. It's all good and well having the big names on, and it helps with views, it helps with subscribers. I'm not going to lie. I've had William Bonac 2-3 times now, but he comes on because we're friends. I don't have him on because he's, he has a big name. He has a big name. But you can see from the conversations we have, we're cool. We're talking about family, this, that, and the other. Branch 2015. Let's have a look. Branch 2015. Okay. You have to scroll down for this, don't you? Lean. Yeah, we'll chat about it in a bit, brother. He's been grinding with no credit. Yeah. I've dropped him a follow. I'll chat to you in a bit. Just DM me on Insta, and then can you video call on Insta? I don't even know. We can have a video call in a bit if you want, Matt. But I'm gonna go sign off this. I need to go my local shop, get some bits. I'm gonna call my lady, and then I'll chat to you, Matt. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off on that. If any of you got any questions, want to DM me, Instagram's probably your best place. I do reply to everybody. I chat to most of you a lot of the time anyway. But yeah, if there's anybody you want me to interview like Matt's, just put a few really good guys forward. Let me know. I'll reach out. I can't promise nothing. I'll reach out to a few people. Sometimes they don't even reply. Sometimes they'll read it and just not even reply. Is what it is. Is what it is. But yeah, on that note, guys, I'm going to leave it there. You know how I'm going to sign off. I've been me, you've been you. Peace.